welcome to Dynamite Delight, a show you gotta say, what? Literally. What the heck did I just watch? Now, mind you, that's not a bad thing. Now, the first thing I want to say that the New Orleans crowd was hot. 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 Guys, if you want a place that's going to make you feel like invested, this is it. Whether you like the show or not, the crowd truly helped the package of the episode of Dynamite. It did. Whether you like it or not. Now, the first match, CM Punk versus Penta. Now, was it a good match? Yes, it was. But you gotta say the truth. Did CM Punk sell his knee injury well? No, he did not sell it. The beginning of the match was good. The middle of the match was fine until the knee was introduced. His left leg or left knee started acting up. He couldn't function. He fell off the ring ropes to play it up. But here's the problem. Near the end of the match, the commentators who tried to help sell it, and I gotta say this, when you can barely hear the commentators, that means the crowd is hot. Does not matter if you like the matches or not. If the crowds are into it, you could be invested. But I could not fully get invested in it because CM Punk did not sell enough of his knee injury or his leg injury by the end of it. That's just me. Was it a good match? Yes, it was. But still, you could tell CM Punk was not totally selling it. But I will say it was good to see two veterans of the ring in the very beginning to near the middle. They did a good match from the beginning to the middle, but nearing the end is when it fell off for me personally. Now, what did we get from this tag team? Red Dragon versus no Christian by their side, a Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus. Good match. Not a greatest match. It's not something I haven't seen from either one of these teams. Here's the problem. You need to do something with the Bucks. You need to do something with Red Dragon. You need to do something with the titles. And you need to drop the titles off of Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy. Look, I don't hate Jungle Boy. I don't hate Luchasaurus. They're not called Jurassic Express anymore because pretty much Marco Stunt is not there. They're pretty much two guys that should be singles as a tag team. They've done well as a tag team, but they're long overdue for a singles run of their own. Each one of them, Luchasaurus by himself, as well as Jungle Boy. It's time for them to break up, but they decided not to do it yet, giving them this title, giving them this title reign, and the match showed that they keep it. Now, was it good to see FTR? Yes, FTR is very hot right now. Whether you like them or not, they're hot having the AAA titles and the ROH titles. It does help their story. They want to be the best. The next one will have to be the AEW titles. Do I agree that they should have all three titles? At this point, yes, but at a pay-per-view, not a Dynamite or a Rampage or an ROH for that matter. It must be at a pay-per-view. They have to win those titles at a pay-per-view. Now, some people want to say, why don't they also get the Impact tag titles? Here's the thing. Impact's tag division is not very strong right now. We do have some tapings of the Briscoes on Impact, which will last maybe a couple of weeks to a month easily. But it does not mean that the Briscoes are hired. Like I said before, a lot of wrestlers are never usually hired. They're just there to do some tapings, to get paid for the tapings, and then they're out. At least until they decided to either make a request to come back or when Impact calls them back. But Impact does not have a strong division right now. And I would be shocked if FTR tries to go and get their titles too. I would be shocked if they tried. I'm just saying. Now, MJF versus Captain Shawn Dean. This was not about Shawn Dean. He was given another match against MJF like it was with Shawn Spears. Well, Shawn Spears, the first time he lost. Now, MJF gets a rematch where he looks dominant, but then Wardlow comes out and makes it very clear that if you do not free me, I'm going to keep going after you over and over again until I'm freed. So he said, you know what? You are contractually obligated to do what I say, including do matches. So I'm going to put you up against somebody that is going to destroy you, and that is Butcher.
Really?
Butcher. Look, I want to make this clear. Do I hate Butcher and Blade? No. Do I think they're a great tag team? When they're booked correctly? Yes. But have they been ever booked correctly? Zero. Goose egg. No. The only time when they ever win is when someone else is in their story. Or when they're in, 6 or 8-man tag or 10-man tag. That's the only time when they ever generally win. Singles, they never win. Ever. Without there being a story for somebody else. So if it was a story about them, I have never seen it. So do I believe Wardlow is going to destroy Butcher? Hell yes he will, unless MJF interferes. I'm just saying, let's move on. Now, the 6-man tag of the JAAS with Garcia, with Hager, and with the Chris Jericho, and he's still playing this music where I don't agree with it, but due to the fact he's so... It don't make a difference if you agree or disagree like I feel. I don't agree with him playing Judas, but I cannot take away from how over he is. Because he's so over, it makes no difference. He is so over, Judas is an afterthought. People are going to sing to it no matter what because he's so over. People love the song, and he's over no matter if he's a heel or a face, flat out, so it's always going to have its moment. Do I agree with it? No. But at this point, it doesn't really matter if I agree or not. I'm going to acknowledge it for what it is. He is over so heavily. Sorry, my nose is itching. He's not going to lose in this situation. People are not going to stop thinking about him. Now, was the match good? When it came to Eddie, when it came to Ortiz, and when it came to Santana, yes, it was. Hell yeah, it was. And in the end, they did not win. JAS did. And I'm not surprised. They got to be over. Particularly what happened in the beginning of the show when you see them coming out of a little jet. And that once 2.0, and I can't remember their names. But once they were mugged, and it's a little tradition in New York that usually people throw sneakers up on telephone or power lines. There's also a tradition, which is actually kind of a thing that goes back well before my birth. If you want to really insult somebody, steal their shoes. And it's also when I was growing up. You steal their shit. You steal their sneakers or their shoes. That is highly embarrassing. And that's what they did. Around Ortiz's neck was interesting. But it was what it was. Now, here is where the title comes in. What a big damn mistake. Marina Shafir versus Sky Blue with the baddie section of the Jade Cargill out there. I believe I'll put Jade in my face. One of the few shots if I'm going to put any. And seeing Maria Shafir. I believe that's her name. Marina or Maria Marina, I believe. Guys, what possessed Tony Khan or anyone else to put this woman on Dynamite? She made no reaction. None. It wasn't that people booed her. It wasn't that people cheered her. There was no reaction. It was only Sky Blue who had reaction. Sky Blue was the only one that had some level of reaction due to the fact she's been on NWA. She also worked with Row. She also worked with I think she was in ROH at least one time or another, I think. But I do believe she was on Raw, Reality Wrestling, as well as NWA easily because I've seen her in NWA. She's been on there. So you see this and you go, what? Why? And her doing exactly what? And here's the kicker. Did she do some wrestling moves? Pro wrestling a little bit. But did she act like a Ronda Rousey? Yes, she did. And I believe that did not get over with the fans at all. It was a disaster. This did not work. And in the end, with the baddie section booing her that had Red Velvet in it and the Kieran Hogan. I'm not calling Kiera. I'm calling Kieran. I wanted to be exotic. Kiera, just with Red Velvet made no sense. Even the commentators didn't understand why they were there. But the point was, this made no sense. She should have never been put on Dynamite. She should have been put on Rampage, or at the least put her on RH when you get her ready. Put her on RH to do that, because she did not make any reaction. She was dead. I'm just saying. Now, we had the match that I did like a lot. Powerhouse Hobbs and Ricky Starks' hometown of New Orleans cheering his ass on versus a Keith Lee and Swerve Scott, who made no real sense. Because, and I want to make this clear. Was the match bad? No. Did Powerhouse Hobbs look good? To a point, yes. Did Ricky Starks be completely over? Yes. Does it mean you like that? No. I know a lot of people can't stand Ricky. A lot of people think Ricky Starks is overrated. But I keep saying Ricky Starks is a good wrestler. Whether you like him a lot. Well, I'm botching here because it's Swerve Scott. But when you look at Ricky Starks, he is a good wrestler that is easily above mid-card. He is an upper card near main event. He can be put to the main event when it's necessary if you got a problem, but he is an upper carder. He is good there. He's not a lower. He's not a mid-carder. He's an upper carder because of the way he talks. His ring work is acceptable. Sometimes very good. Here was it very good? No, it was acceptable. But it was due to the fact he was so over that made it work. But here's the thing for me. I've heard so many people talk about Swerve Scott being so incredible. I'm sorry. He's not. He does not sell well. When it's not about him, at least from what I can tell, either he's just very sloppy with his selling, or he just doesn't sell well. He just doesn't. I know people can say, well, what happened with Keith Lee when he threw him and he sold it? Just because he got thrown and he sold it to the point where it looks like he's in agony does not mean it's believable. There's a way of selling, not just to sell. You got to have a way of selling it to make it feel like it's legitimate, like he did actually get hurt. He oversells the shit. Or in other cases, he undersells it. Like I said, he will not sell very well, either because he's doing it on purpose or he just doesn't know how to do it. Oh, he looks incredibly great when it's about him, but when it comes to the other person, either he undersells it almost all the time, or he oversells it. In this case with Keith Lee, he tried to overdo it. And guess who was the one who looked the very best in the entire damn match? It was not Swerve Strickland. It was Keith Lee who looked the best out of all four men there. All four men compared to Keith Lee was nothing. And I'm not taking anything away from Hobbs. I'm not taking anything away from Starks, even Strickland. I don't think he sells well. Is he a good wrestler? Yes. But does not mean he's a great one like everyone says. But when you look at a Keith Lee, he is a main eventer. He just is. It's not because I like Keith. I think he's a good wrestler. I think he has something that can go to the main event of any promotion. But Swerve Strickland just isn't it. I'm just saying. Now, the last match of the night. The ROH TV title. Which was the proper place to put this. Samoa Joe versus Minoru Suzuki. If I'm pronouncing it correctly. Minoru Suzuki. I think I'm pronouncing this better than I would Spanish, even though I'm Spanish. Was this a great match? It was. What the hell did I just watch? They did the most biggest amount of slapping I have seen in quite a long time. Now, are people going to enjoy it? No. Let's be honest here. There are people who can't stand Japanese wrestling, cannot stand ROH wrestling, and definitely there are people who watch my videos who I don't understand why they watch my videos and complain their silly asses off about can't stand AEW. Stay on my NWA reviews. Stay on my Impact reviews. Seeing you here is like, why are you here? Because you're not getting what you want. Somebody wants RH bought out by Impact Wrestling, which is stupid. Even a person like me who loves Impact Wrestling, who loves NWA, unfortunately has not had enough time, and I've been working hard on my animation. I haven't had a chance to do any other wrestling reviews of other shows, and I've been wanting to do it, but I'm trying to schedule the time of going to my doctors, doing these video reviews. I know I didn't do well, Gump Report, I left it out this time around due to the side of my neck and my back. But as you know, I do my videos. But the thing is, it's not happening. Look at something else if you're not happy. Because you look silly. But this match, whether you like strong style or not, was unique. Miru Suzuki has got to be nearly 50 years old. He can't be 30 or 40. His physique is that of someone nearly 50 or a little bit above. Late 40s, early 50s. And this guy did a full 20-minute slap fest to the chest where his chest was so damn red it was beginning to bleed. It was beginning to bubble up blood. And he kept going. Was he slow at certain points? Hell yeah. But it doesn't take anything away from him or Samoa Joe. In the end, Samoa Joe won. And I was surprised. Kind of like what happened with Ricky Starks. Because if that was WWE, Ricky would never won. But he was allowed to win. And I was thinking, they wouldn't make him just job right now. Amiru. Why? He just got it. Wouldn't you, unless he can't stay, and he works more with New Japan Pro Strong, I can understand it. They just wanted a transitional champion so it can make it mean something so Joe can get it, which in a basic sense makes sense because he never had the title even when he was in RH. He had the pure title and he had the world title, as they said. So seeing that makes sense. Then you get the dumbest thing, Kali 2.0. Now I'm not even insulting the guy. I'm not insulting Siraj Singh. I believe that's his name. And he is from India. He's a basketball player. And now all of a sudden he's been at the equivalent of the training center for the AEW, like the Performance Center. He's now shown. He attacked a Samoa Joe. He crushed his head like a guess who? Great Khali. They shouldn't have done that. He should have been allowed to do some other movements. But since he was wearing pointed shoes, I don't think he could. But they destroy a Samoa Joe. That's the Jay Lethal and the Sanjay Dutt. He looks like a Great Khali. Not saying he is a Great Khali, but he looks like one. He's moving like one. They made him do a head crush like Great Khali. Why did they do that? You want to give this guy a better perception. You do not make him look like he's getting his head crushed in like Great Khali or Giant Gonzalez. You don't do that. This is like, how many big men do we now have in AEW? We have this guy. We now have a Brody King. We now have a Lance Archer. Who else do we have as big? I can't remember. But trust me, this isn't good. So I hope you enjoyed the Zane's View. Please give me a comment below. And I hope you'll see my Impact review. Give me a like, a subscribe. Peace.